What's up, everybody, and welcome to our review of Season 2 of The Witcher. We just finished our whole series, episode by episode, and you haven't watched that yet, highly recommend it. It's above Ryan's head. But this, we're getting right to the end of it. Our thoughts, our opinions, what we thought about the season as a whole, our hopes for Season 3, things we liked and disliked. Season 1 ended, and...
confusing.
The storyline, we both agreed that Season 1, they jumped between timelines too much, where when it went from Geralt to Yennefer to Ciri, there was way too much to where you had to piece it in your mind together.
Which this
Coming
thing
into
did not
Season 2,
do well with that.
we knew that we were getting into a place where everyone was together. It was one congruent timeline, and it was like, oh, okay, good, already, check mark.
It didn't seem like a lot of time lapsed anyway.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was good.
And I was already looking forward to that. Like, okay, I get to really focus on the characters on screen, and I don't have to necessarily try to depict where in time we are at any one point in time.
We're
with
here.
One character.
They're here. A lot of the characters that we wanted to come back met each other on the same screen because while one's in prison, this is happening over here, and a lot of things were happening. It was just a more peaceful state of mind.
And I just like also knowing the fact that we knew that Geralt and Ciri were finally together, so it was going to be like the exploration of their relationship. It was going to be when Yennefer comes into play.
The love,
Jaskier,
we hated her.
Because Jaskier left Geralt in bad terms.
No, Geralt sent him away.
Yeah, they left on bad terms.
He was a broken heart man.
So
Just listen to his music.
Geralt and Yennefer.
Right.
So there were a lot of things that we were both looking forward to in Season 2.
A lot.
It had a lot to live up to, and it met expectations in some ways, and in others, I was really disappointed, and you were too.
So overall, rounded out, good show. I think just without our explanation.
Well, look, I
show.
love The Witcher.
Yes.
There is nothing more I want than for The Witcher to, like, everyone love it, because that means I get more of it. But I think that the writers are trying to play it cute too much. They want to make a name for themselves and make it their own. You don't need to do that. The IP is there.
You have good
the
stuff
books are
sitting
there. The game is there. Just take the stories out of it and put it in video form, and you don't need to change so much. And one instance I have in particular to bring up is Yennefer. Her storyline this season about her losing her powers and going through the quest of finding herself. At the end of the season, she was getting to the point where she was going to sacrifice Ciri for her own personal gain. I did not like Yennefer's story. I did not like the character that they were putting on screen. No, Yennefer is very necessary.
Not in this state of Yennefer,
I don't
though.
like the way they told her characters.
Yep.
I don't like it. She would have never tried to sacrifice Ciri. She would have found some other way. I don't like the fact that she lost her powers, and then at the end, she regained them because she sacrificed herself for Ciri.
She was a good person.
And I guess from a narrative perspective, it kind of meant that she, on one end, lost them because she went way on one end of the spectrum in her abilities, and she then, therefore, had to go to the other end of the spectrum in order to, like,
meeting chaos, there is a repercussion.
Exactly.
And that was to lose it, or
I just didn't like it.
She lost it. It might have just got suppressed for a little while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't
she
know.
like spent her MP.
Yes.
Yeah. I just, you know what? I just didn't like her story in general. And I know there was a couple things that you didn't like. Did you want to get into one of them?
Oh yeah. So my main thing, Ciri did not need to be. I get it. She's important. She's of elder blood. She is the fixer of the world. I think it snapped too fast to be all about her.
I agree.
We lost The Witcher.
It
went
Witcher
to the Ciri.
Yeah.
So I get it. We followed her from training, or actually we picked right back up where Geralt found her. They went to Kaer Morhen, she started training. Everybody's out on the hunt for her. She can teleport not just across the river, but across spheres. And I think that was just too much. Geralt changed immediately. And to being the Father of the Year, being the Protector, and not being a Witcher.
And you didn't buy it.
I didn't. I felt it was given to us as like they almost made a joke out of Geralt and the Witchers.
Well, that's my other big gripe with the season. This show should be called The Witcher. As in, there is one, and there can't be others. That every other Witcher in this show was just like background noise. They didn't need to be there. It was almost like they were this much better than extras.
They could have propped up a cardboard cutout of two of them. Just put them over there.
For instance, is a very capable Witcher.
He trained all the witches we know of.
Every time where he had a chance to like show his wisdom and his abilities and his capabilities, he just didn't do it. And they didn't do his character any justice to me.
No, and
I don't like the Witchers. I don't like Eskel was in the show. They introduced him. Hey, look, he's kind of a dick. He died. Oh wait, he needed Geralt's help, but he didn't ask Geralt for his fucking help.
And made him seem so like he immediately picked up importance. That quick flashback they did with Geralt and Eskel and like that kind of built a little foundation. Right. That he was important. They were friends.
Written it to where you showed a story with Geralt and Eskel, a monster. Hey, how about this? Where they slayed a monster and they were like witchers on a mission, and then that was what made you go, oh, I like Eskel as a character.
Right.
So when he died, you felt some weight behind that.
They tried, but it would all have been like, oh, kill this monster. No, it's safe Ciri.
I don't want to like beat on it too much because
these are minor things. These are
they're not minor to me.
Oh,
These were big things to me.
I guess they were like show structure.
They were big. They were big to me.
Definitely, yeah.
But I will say a couple positive things. One thing is the relationship between Geralt and Ciri. You didn't like the fact that I didn't like it either. How it was the Ciri show. Yeah. But if you're going to do that, make me care about the relationship between the two of them.
We did,
and I actually did like, and I'll give the show good marks for that. That was well done.
And now you throw in, so you had your Witchers, as your backdrop. That weren't even real.
There wasn't even a backdrop.
And then you had,
they're like, yeah, they're Witchers. Trust us, they're Witchers. They have medallions.
Don't look too long at them.
They have medallions.
Then you have storylines that were just pointless. There's still you have Tissia and the whole Mage Council.
Didn't care about Tissia this season.
What? Okay, I felt like that was just like, hey guys, they're at the writing room at the table. We have to fill in 10 extra minutes because we got to meet that hour quota. Well, what about these two people? Nah, we don't care about that. And then the whole Redanian everything.
We also didn't get much Yesker. And we both really love Yesker.
I do love him, but I think we got
him and Geralt on the screen together was an episode and a half.
Yeah, I get you're right. And I think my excitement for Yesker was, I guess, clouded my view of actually I felt like he was in the show longer, but then he was with Yennefer.
Yes, he did have more screen time.
He did.
I wanted to see them together.
Yeah.
Okay, can we just tell a story where they're all together and it's not like, yeah, you guys do this mission down there. We're gonna go over here and do this mission. We're gonna be completely separate for all 8 episodes and come back together for 10 minutes at the end.
Yeah.
I don't want that to be the case.
And that's
But something else I liked was we both said at the end of season 1, going into season 2, we want more Geralt and monsters. Well, we did get more monsters.
Got monsters.
It was almost every episode.
And they were good.
That gargoyle demon I thought was really badass. The basilisks at the end of episode they were the best monster this season to me by far.
And then you had Leshies. They were... Well, we got to see one of them that was ripped apart by some goat centipede
that came out of one of the monoliths.
Yes. So, like, you had enough monsters in here to satisfy when before in season 1, you had monsters that he just came covered in their blood.
And the other thing about the monsters is, and it's another negative, is there are so many monsters that exist in this sphere that they could have made episodes about. But they were like, no. What if we made new monsters that had mutations? It's like, okay, cool.
With no explanation of why.
There's so many you could pick from that would make great sense.
Currently live in the sphere we're in.
And that are deadly as fuck. Right. So, they will kill the Witchers like they ended up killing them anyway. But that was something... But they were monsters. I like the designs.
Monsters.
I'm going to call that a negative and a positive at the same time.
Yeah, neutral.
Yeah.
It did its job. It gave us our wish, but in a different way that we didn't want.
And maybe that would be a good example of the showrunners taking a little bit of liberty with the story and then editing it. That is like, if that's the extent of what they did, I'd have been like, you know what? Okay, make it your own.
That was your choice.
But you still took the source material and you were true to it to a point where it was good.
And I like that.
But do you have anything else you wanted to add before we get to the Layman's Review?
I'm good jumping to Layman's Review, but I just don't want this to feel like we're just beating this show down.
No.
It sounds like we sat there and just talked about the negatives. But if you guys watch our episode breakdown, you'll see the pure, like, every good in every episode and the excitement that we have for it. But this is a review. Like,
well, I think it's important to point out
that
weeks after we finished, we're doing this.
Yes.
So we've had time to digest it and really think about it and, like, think about the arcs of the characters and whatnot. And I'm glad we did that because it was almost like it wasn't like a
a knee jerk.
Hey,
like, this is
exactly.
Wow, it's so great.
I loved a lot of stuff about it, but there was also a lot that it could have done better.
Right.
So with that, we'll get into Layman's review.
Layman's review.
3, 2, 1.
Ooh. For some reason,
it's not an A.
It is not an A.
There's way too many. We just sat like for 5 to 10 minutes talking about how many negative things there were.
We did.
I love this series to the point to where I want to give it an A just because it exists. But I got to be honest with myself in the fact that, and the audience, you, it did not. Season 1 was way better than Season 2.
So Season 2, hear me out. I think it's an A because you wanted to watch every episode. It ended great. Each episode told a sort of start and end story. There was a lot going on, I understand. But you had your character development, not of your B characters, but your A characters. You developed a care for Geralt. You felt Geralt and Ciri's relationship.
Yep, that's true.
You felt Yennefer was, regardless of how you felt about her character and that storyline they put her on, you felt her pain that she was going through. She lost everything that she ever dreamed of, and that was her power. You got a little bit of the more in-depth look at the elves and their struggle. They were building a world in this season where Season 1 built multiple time period worlds, and I think that was a lot to handle. This was linear. It picked up, and yes, there were useless storylines, 100%. Did I want Kaer Morhen? Yes. Did I need it the way they did it? No. You felt that Vesemir, judging by the animated series, was better than what they depicted him in this. But that care, the want for...
You've already said enough to warrant... You've already just... In what you've just said, you've already knocked it. To me, that you're already done an A. You can't say, I know, all these caveats aside, it's still an A.
I don't know.
It doesn't work that way. What do you consider an A?
I don't know, because, I mean, if you look
I was borderline C. I was
and
going
in my
to
head,
write...
I thought he was putting an S.
I was right on the cusp of putting a C, but then I thought about the fact that it was the relationship between Geralt and Ciri. I really did like that.
Okay. Right,
Jaskier is a fantastic character. I love when he's on screen. His songs are funny. His character brings a sense of levity to the show that otherwise doesn't exist.
He doesn't bring a needed structure to the show.
He doesn't need needed structure.
He is a...
Not every character
needs
to
do
do that.
He's a side character that brings some lighthearted fun. And I think his jokes are forced, and I love Jaskier, but I think his jokes are forced. Like, okay,
you gave it an A.
There's a basilisk. No, I'm saying he was a secondary character. I didn't need him. I wanted him. Didn't need him. I want to eat the cake, but I don't need it. So he's that little sweet that comes through. But he was making a joke. My God, man, there are basilisk snake raptors running around going to kill you.
So some of the jokes are forced.
And you're just like, oh, here's this stone. I don't know what it's supposed to do.
Sounds like a negative to me.
Oh, B it is.
I'm just saying.
This is why we do this.
Yeah.
This is why we do this, because in that time period that I thought about, I think about all the good parts of the show, but with you and you guys, we get to sit here and pick apart the bad. And I think I guess they are bad.
And I was really close to a C. I did not like a lot of this season. I really didn't. And I want this show to succeed more than you know.
But hopefully it will. If obviously they're going to make a season 3.
Yes.
But
this is my advice to the showrunners. Let Henry Cavill be on the decision-making board for the direction of the story, please. There was a scene where Roach died.
Yeah, we talked about that
in one of our reviews, and the showrunners had to be convinced by Henry Cavill to put in a eulogy, basically, for Roach. They were just going to make a lighthearted joke and have Geralt just, superficially just go over top of the fact that Roach died and then continue the story.
They just have to walk.
Henry
That's all the
Cavill
writers
needs to
saw.
be a lot. He is so invested into this role. Before he started this, he read all the books. He played The Witcher 3. He might even played the first 2. He is very ingrained.
Plenty of time
and we can both admit that Geralt is the best part of the show, without a doubt. Henry Cavill as Geralt is just
Geralt the Witcher,
S tier,
not
literally.
Ciri's father.
It's hard to come up with a better adaptation of someone who is supposed to represent a character than Henry Cavill as Geralt. I'm pretty sure everyone unanimously thinks S. Okay? Make him have more say of the show's direction,
and that's not unheard of.
It's not.
He knows more. I bet he knows more about the the character, the game,
lore.
everything
Yes.
than the actual writers do.
I 1,000% agree.
And because he wants to learn it, he wants to play Geralt, he wants to do all these things. So let the man have his choice.
I think it to be.
Okay, no, I agree. I think after my positives as I get them out of my brain into words, they were really just, I think, negatives hidden by positives.
And it's okay. Sometimes your show is like gonna go like this for a little while before it starts to take off.
A B is good, man.
Game of Thrones wasn't Game of Thrones to me until like seasons 3 and 4. So that was the review of season 2 of The Witcher. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Did you like it more than we did? Were there any bad things about the show that we left out that we should not have? All that and more, put it in the comments below, and we will see you on the next video.